Hello and welcome to e-GMAT. We will solve question number 40 of OG Verbal 2nd edition by using e-GMAT 3-step process. In the first step, we will understand the meaning of the sentence. In the second, we will evaluate the errors in the sentence. And finally, we will review all the answer choices to get to the correct answer. So let's begin. The Gotten Dot Bill requires that a bank disclose to their customers how long they will delay access to funds from deposited checks. Now this sentence presents a fact. It talks about the Gotten Dot Bill that requires the banks to disclose to its customers how long it will delay access to funds from deposited checks. Now let us evaluate the errors by splitting this sentence into its clauses. So here comes the first clause. The Gotten Dot Bill requires that. Here the Gotten Dot Bill is the subject and requires is the verb. Presence of that marks presence of a clause here that reads, a bank disclose to their customers how long they will delay access to funds from deposited checks. Here a bank is the subject and disclose is the verb. Now in this sentence, plural pronouns their and they do not agree in number with the noun antecedent a bank, which is singular. So we certainly have the pronoun antecedent number agreement error here. Well, that's the only error here, and let's find out what's the correct answer for this sentence. Well, choice A certainly is not, as we discussed just now. Choice B repeats the same pronoun error as in choice A, and also it uses the phrase a check. Now singular a check is illogical because the customers deposit more than one check and they need access to funds through all the deposited checks. So choice B is not the correct answer. Well, in choice C, the pronouns now agree in number with their noun antecedent, so choice C is the correct answer. Well, we'll still review choices D and E to find out why they are not correct. Well, in choice D, the verb requires needs use of either subjunctive verb or to verb. Usage of should here is incorrect. So this is one error here, and again it also uses the phrase a check, which is singular, and it is illogical because the customers deposit more than one check and they need access to the funds accumulated by depositing a lot of checks. So choice D is not correct. In choice E, passive voice takes away the due emphasis from banks. Now the bill requires the banks to do a certain action, hence the doer is important in this sentence. But the passive construction not only diminishes that emphasis but now also makes the sentence a little confusing and unclear. So the use of passive voice in this sentence is not correct. Again, this choice also repeats this phrase a check, which is singular and is illogical because the customers deposit more than one check and they need access to the funds that they have accumulated by depositing a lot of checks. So as we found out, choice C is the correct answer for this sentence. This brings us to the takeaway messages of the sentence. We must take notice of verbs that require the use of subjunctive verbs and or to verb forms. Also, every pronoun in the sentence must agree in number with its noun antecedent. We must discard all the illogical expressions as they make the sentence confusing and unclear. And the concepts tested in this sentence have been covered in e-GMAT concepts, pronouns level 1 and verb subjunctive level 2.